Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Raynday Gaming. My name is Raynday, and yesterday we talked about Battlegrounds, Paladins Battlegrounds, and what makes it unique. I was kind of laughing at some of those comments because people would just jump onto the video and say, well, nothing's unique about it. But that's what the whole video's about. Did you not watch you didn't watch the video, did you? But alas, that's the internet, and of course, you guys in the comments section, I want you to be right. I want you to be wrong. I want you to just contribute something to the conversation because that's what makes all of this possible and fun. So keep on commenting and let me know what you think about this one, because today we're talking about the best champions in Battlegrounds and who is going to take the cake when we first start in terms of the tier list. What are the champions that when they show up in that random selection of 8 or 12 that you are going to want to absolutely have on your team, and maybe which ones you're going to want to avoid and why. This is going to go in depth a little bit on some of the marquee champions that right now are dominating the playtest and have dominated at HRX, and also some of the ones that I felt like are performing poorly, and I'm really curious to see how the solutions are in terms of translating their play styles into the Battlegrounds map. So let's get into the number one lady, the one who has been dominating the scene, and when you see her on your screen, you want to pick her up, no doubt about it. That's Lian. Lian, the scion of House Eiko, a nice damage champion from Paladins, is actually doing so well for herself in Battlegrounds that she's oftentimes the one winning the game if a competent player is playing her, and that's because her skills are so easily translatable to the wide open map. I mean, just think about it. Lian has 3 really good reasons as to why she's effective, and I'll go through all of them right now. The first reason is that Lian actually is hit scan. Some champions like Drogos are projectile based, and in a wide open map, that's very, very difficult. Imagine just landing a fire spit or anything that's an AoE that requires people to be standing in that radius to take an impact. Imagine hitting that over 100 yards. That's a very difficult shot, and especially with people having so much room to juke left, right, up, down, it's going to be difficult. But Lian hit scan. When you put your cursor over that champion and you press your left click or your right click, damage happens, and that's a very big thing to be able to do from range and to start poking people down and engage from distances that feel comfortable for you. Another reason Lian is very good is because of her AoE cleave. That ability, Valor and Grace, when she slides and uses the Alacrity legendary, but also just when she hits her right mouse button, and it does AoE damage that's guaranteed to anyone who is in front of her. That distance that's able to hit is very, very large, and it applies weapon effects. So if you have like that legendary and you have that cauterize application, that 90% reduction in healing, Lian can hit with one slide all 4 members on that team, and everyone has that application to them. So she is extremely good, even if she's not the carry of your team, to have in one of the lineups, because she could just keep applying that anti-heal from almost any range and almost without ever fearing missing that shot, because it does have that auto aim capability. If you're just in that range, that cursor area, that cone, you get hit. The third reason is kind of a conjunction between number 1 and number 2. She's doing a lot of damage, she's got a lot of AoE, so therefore she's building her ultimate very quickly. She builds her ultimate so fast. If you saw my first video about why Battle Royale, the genre, is so popular, thanks to YouTube for demonetizing that and throwing that in the dumps. But it's a really cool video, and you should check it out, and that video covers actually Lian's ability to, in a fight, get her ultimate up 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and it is such a good ultimate as well. Damage immunity, CC immunity, and fires 1600 damage back in a huge projectile, and that allows her to be very, very effective in bursting targets down. We saw those big like healing compositions from people picking like 4 Grovers, but think about it, if Lian's able to just burst through that healing, even if it's sustained, that's the difference maker. So she oftentimes turns the tide of a fight by just being able to get that 1600 burst onto 1, 2, or maybe even 3 targets. Another champion to look out for, and actually a champion that I played yesterday in our playtest of Battlegrounds, is Talus. Talus is extremely good in this mode, and I found him to be so dang good that he might be above or right next to Lian in terms of priority when I see him play. Now, there are a lot of reasons why Talus is very good. I'm going to break down all 3 of them for you right now, at least the 3 marquee ones. The first one is that he is hit scan as well, very much similar to Lian. He has the ability to just shoot you, put his cursor over you, knock you off your horse, do damage, and his overcharge is so good at applying early anti-heal. When you have the card anti Antediluvian in your kit, and a lot of people run that in Talus nowadays in Paladins, you're able to apply that almost full game cauterize, that anti-healing where no one really gets value out of their healers right at the start of the game. And it's so much damage as well, so much DPS, that it's really easy to just full burst, almost 100-0 a tank like a Nara or Fernando. Even the mightiest of champions fall when faced with that fearless overcharge from Talus. So you can combine that into the fact that he's got hit scan, and then he's also got finishing power, which is extremely important and potent when you're trying to have an engagement that usually lasts with a pretty decent TTK, due to the fact that, you know, it's taking a while. There's healing, there's front lines, there's flankers, and they can all synergize off each other to make these engagements last much longer than you're used to in a battle royale. Secondly, his movement. His movement is very strong. When you have his Rune of Travel, which is an ability that allows you to place a rune and then travel for a second, and then when you want to, or at the end of the duration, get pulled back to the original location where you put that rune, you have a lot of options in terms of faking out opponents and drawing engagements to one location, then getting back away. He's very slippery, so to speak, in terms of this BR mode, and it's really, really useful. Another thing you can do is add the legendary Faustian Bargain, which means that at the end of the duration of that Rune of Travel, instead of getting pulled back, when you have this legendary, you don't have to get pulled back. You can just reset it, and that's very important. He can have cards that allow him to gain movement speed while that Rune of Travel that duration is going on, and so he can kind of always just stay with a lot of damage reduction, a lot of movement speed, and move a lot faster in general, and then always have the flexibility of being able to say, oh, this is getting a little sticky for me, I'm gonna back on out of here and just confuse these opponents. Remember, that Rune of Travel, when he goes back, also heals him for a base of, I think, 400 or 500, which means that he's got his own self-sustain, which some champions just don't have. So if you are in that 1v1, you have the option for him to be able to actually get that health back rather than needing that healer to survive. So if you get to that serious down-to-the-wire situation, he's probably gonna come out on top in a lot of them. The third reason that I find very valuable for Talus is his ultimate. His ultimate right now, the True Power, allows you to really lock down an opponent. Like we saw in the Paladins World Championship at HRX, it was extremely beneficial when you combined it with a Genos. Talus would just ult someone, they'd be kind of semi-locked in the air, and Genos would follow up, and boom, that's a one-hit KO. And it allows him to really traverse the map, especially when people are retreating or people are trying to hide behind walls or things like that. Talus is so good at being able to start engagements and, of course, get back with that Rune of Travel if he has placed it before he's gone into that ult. So watch out for this guy, because I think he is going to be a dominant force. And in fact, I actually won the game I played. I've only played this Battlegrounds once personally. I've watched it, commentated, done all these things, but I've only played it actually once. I played it with Talus and I won yesterday. So that can just show you how good this guy is. I mean, I also had super bad juju on my team playing Alacrity Lian, but let's forget about that. It was really over. Another champion that actually was on my winning team and actually showed how good he was in this BR mode was Grohk. Grohk was actually very, very good in this. And of course, in Paladins, Grohk is very good right now as well. He's got a great win rate. He is dominating. He's been featured in HRX, and all the pros have definitely adopted a style that works around Grohk or against Grohk because of how relevant he is. One of the reasons why he's going to be so successful is because he can have this huge TTK in terms of personal time to take him down, and that's just much longer than a lot of other champions. He can heal himself, he can do decent damage in a 1v1, and he's also very hard to just take down and finish. He can ghost walk. If he's running the Rake legendary, he can have that second life, get that ghost walk back again, and in a BR mode, when things are flying and decisions need to be made, the last thing you want to do is focus all your attention for 20 seconds onto a champion who's just going to be able to survive. You can also dismount entire enemy teams who are trying to ride away or engage you from a different direction just with one shock pulse. You can hit one enemy, it'll bounce to all the other 3 enemies, and that entire team will be helpless to do anything, because that's just how Grohk does it. And his ultimate gets a lot better in open spaces because it gives you that 60% movement speed, which allows you to traverse ground and engage at really opportune moments. And also that 60% slow for enemies who are caught within that Tempest. Really feel that in the wide open map. You do not want to be caught out in open space. Grohk can really turn a fight and really help that fight for his teammates if he's able to use a correct Tempest at a good time. I think as far as healers go, you're going to be looking at Grohk, you're going to be looking at Genos being extremely good. I think Saris can be pretty decent here as well because of the whole stealth and going invisible. I think that's going to buy a lot of time, and her ultimate is a total game fight changer, and she's already jumped back up into the meta in terms of HRX, so I would expect to see her played as well. I'm very curious to see how champions with hard to hit projectile playstyles like Maldamba in the support class are going to be utilized and if they will be as effective. He's got one of the best kits, and yes, that hit scan heal from any distance is also very potent, so we'll have to see. His weapon maybe takes a fall, his hit scan heal maybe gets a lot better. It's going to be an interesting tug of war of which abilities kind of rule in terms of the healer role. But so far, those are the three that really stand out for me as being really good champions in the Battlegrounds mode. I'm also really curious as to champions like Inara and Terminus. How will they survive in this mode? Because to be frank, they're used to fighting in close spaces. Terminus, he's a big axe-wielding daddy, and he wants to get right up next to you and show you how heavy that Massacre axe really is. And Inara, she loves controlling space. Bright Marsh, Jaguar Falls, maps like that jump Inara's win rate up, and it's because she's very good when she is forced to be played against in a tight space. But in an open map, in a BR mode, how are they really going to succeed? I don't exactly know. I wonder if there's going to be some type of implementation of certain traits or different things that make them more viable or allow them to be used. Maybe they won't even get to be available at all. Maybe someone will find the best strategy is picking Inara and Terminus, waiting in the center of the circle and just holding down like a fort, because basically if you fight them in a house, you are gonna go down. There's no way you're winning that battle. So maybe that's the strategy. I don't know. What do you guys think? There is so much to think about in terms of this BR mode and how the champions are gonna play off each other. I think it's really, really fun, and I can't wait to cover a little bit more of this on the channel. Not a little bit, a lot of it more. So stay tuned, like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe, and get to talking down below so I can hear some of your thoughts as to what you're thinking about the BR mode. Do you think some champions are going to be a lot better than others? Which ones are they? Do you agree with the Lian, Talus, and Grohk? Do you think somebody else should have been mentioned? Let me know all that stuff so we can keep to talking and keep the content flowing. If you all want to see some more content, whether it's behind the scenes, maybe you want me to capture a play test and actually show you that entire gameplay footage from something that we do in the office, let me know in the comment section below. Whatever you're looking for, I'll do my best to try to make it happen. I'm here just trying to make some good content because I am excited for all this stuff, and I know you are as well. Well, that's going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching and spending your time with me today, and I'm going to hit you with that outro right now. What up, baby? Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. I really appreciate it. All the likes, the comments, the subscribes, they mean a ton to me, so keep them coming if you want to stay more engaged with the channel. Of course, share your thoughts with me. I love hearing what you guys think about the videos, what type of content you want to see more about Paladins, Battlegrounds, Smite, anything that I cover here on the channel. And of course, just suggestions. Hey, Raynday, do this here. Talk about this more. I love that because this is an interactive community. It's something that's so important to me, and I hope it's important to you guys. As always, thanks so much for watching. Remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and we'll see you all next time.